This is Susan Bassey, and this is a little bit of a different video. It's on a college campus right in the middle of Silicon Valley. It's a community college, and this is the little police department. And this is where the founder of a nonprofit, WomenSV, did some police training, and I'd been in communication with them. But this is the first time that I went to the department, and I want to show you exactly how this video went without any edits, except for maybe some wait time, because I want you to see exactly what this police officer said.
Hi, I wanted to add one more thing.
Okay. Hey, Joe. Hey, Joe.
Yep. Let me grab my notebook. I heard.
Joe, you have to wear so many hats.
All good.
When you gave me the list of everybody that was trained, but the other thing that I'd like to know, and I didn't ask for this and I should ask for it, is I want to know the number of calls for service that you get on these issues. And this dates back to when I was investigating the Stanford case involving Brock Turner. And so I'm wondering,
Calls of service regarding DV.
yeah, if you have any people calling and reporting that, and it's not like you're an on-campus facility. So what is your jurisdiction?
No, our jurisdiction is Foothill and DeAnza colleges.
But they don't have dorms on these colleges.
No, but we still do respond to quite a few domestic violence calls related to our students.
So is it because they're on campus and the event occurs?
Correct.
Or
yes. Yeah, most of the time most of the ones that we respond to either have occurred on campus or we're assisting other agencies with their investigations as well.
Okay, so I kind of want to know that. And I'd also like to know if you have reports and the frequency and the pattern of perhaps complaints from students against harassment involving instructors or campus people, or
that we might have a few of those, but that's mainly handled administratively, usually not criminally. So I mean, occasionally there'll be one that'll rise to the level where it'll be a police matter, but I can think of one in the last 18 years that I've been here.
okay, so I'm
two.
just
But
I'm trying to get it clear in my head. If you're a student on campus, you're over 18 probably. And
Mostly.
if you have an intimate partner situation, you would call campus police.
They can, yes.
But if a professor were sexually harassing somebody,
then they still call us. Yeah.
that's what I'm asking for. Were there any of those calls, or so in addition to the DV type calls, any kind of harassment or anything that would rise to the level of a criminal complaint? And there may not be very many, and that's fine. I'm going to compare this on campuses.
Harassment. Student versus, I'll call it faculty.
Right. Anybody employed with the university.
Faculty, staff.
Right. And so what you're telling me, though, is there's a distinction between, how would you draw the line?
It all depends on what on how severe the incident is.
Okay.
So if somebody says like an offhand comment in a class and a student is offended by that, we would take a look at it and go, no, it's not a criminal matter. It would be handled administratively. Then we would hand it to the administration, and they would handle it with the instructor administratively, because there was nothing criminal about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, and it might be more like a civil harassment type case.
Oh, I'm talking some of the, one of the ones that we got was an instructor. I'm trying to remember what they said, but they basically said that this one occupation is primarily of a lot of people of the Filipino nationality hold this one occupation. And there was a Caucasian student in the class that took offense to that and filed a report with us, saying that it was offensive. We looked at that and went, no. If you want to file a complaint, here's that you can go file it with the administration, because there's nothing there criminally.
And I'm looking to how that's getting overused. People being too sensitive and complaining. And when do we? So do you have a policy and procedure manual that kind of tells you when it rises to that level,
That is
or is that
definitely
just training?
That's on a case by case basis. And,
that's more
and based
training.
based on the training of the police department. And yeah, we do look at each incident and go, okay, is there something here?
Yeah.
And if there is, we definitely take a report. Not only do we send it to the administration, but then we also file with the DA's office. So
I see. So
Yeah,
so if
definitely.
somebody's having a problem with it,
Oh, we definitely
you can
handle it.
tell the difference between if a professor is being inappropriate with a
Correct.
student
Yes.
versus somebody just offensive. We don't criminalize offensive speech.
Correct.
So,
Correct.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Like a lot of times, like at least once a quarter, we've got a church group that shows up on campus. Mm-hmm. One group, there's two different groups. And we actually make sure that they do not show up at the same time, because one of them is Jesus loves you all, come join our church, we love you, versus you are all burning in hell, you are an infidel, you are a sinner, you are going to hell. And they use very provocative language to
But it's all
try to-
religiously based?
It's all religious based.
Mm-hmm.
And they keep to the freedom of speech area on campus, our designated free speech area. And students come in by the droves going, you need to stop them. I'm like, what do you want us to do? It's like,
And
it is literally this is their right. This is covered under two different sections of our Constitution.
So do you ever get calls too about people recording in public or recording them and they're getting offended? So what do you do in those calls?
There is no right to privacy in a public setting. So, and yeah, sometimes it's just somebody walking around going, hey, it's like, I'd like to record you. It's like, and they say no. And I go, somebody's recording me. It's like, okay, you're just walking across campus. What's wrong with that?
So have you seen an escalation in that or a de-escalation as social media has grown more?
Actually, we've seen a de-escalation of that recently. And I don't know whether that is just the fact that we don't have as many students on campus post-pandemic, or if it's getting more out there in social media that if you are out in public, there is no expectation of privacy. If you're doing something out in public and somebody's recording you doing something naughty, maybe you shouldn't be doing that. Just a thought. Sorry.
May I just say you are my favorite police officer ever.
Oh, thank you.
And thank you for saying that. So let me ask you this.
Yeah.
So if somebody were to call, right now I'm walking around, somebody's on campus in a yellow raincoat filming me, what would you do? Would you send somebody to it, or would you?
I might, depending on what they're saying. And a lot of times they ramp it up and they go, she's right in my face doing this, and she's keeping me from my class. It's like, okay, at that point, yes, then we'll send somebody out going, hey, you know what, you're being disruptive to our students. It's like, if you want to record them, that's fine, but you cannot block their path. And then fine. But if you're just sitting there recording people as they walk around, I'll tell them that there's nothing wrong with that.
So let me ask you this, because this obviously happens to me all the time.
Yeah.
So when you see the issue and you see them,
You need me, Matt? Okay.
and someone were to make a call like that,
Yeah.
and one person would say, oh, they're in my face, they're blocking my right to get. Do you ever ask to see the recording to clarify if that person might have been exaggerating or?
Not usually. Usually by the time that we get there, and honestly, in all the times that we've gone out there was only one time where one person was truly blocking somebody's path and refusing to let them just
And
walk
recording
away.
while they were doing
and
it?
recording. And yeah, we did actually escort them off campus.
So then do
because
they get a trespass so they don't come back to campus
Yep.
if they do that?
Yes. Yep.
And so
They-
were they being really belligerent?
They were
or?
being very belligerent and very, very trying to avoid the use of avoid the word obnoxious, but basically they were trying to talk to a student about their political views, and they were refusing to take no for an answer. And so the officer comes up and going, hey, it's like, what are you doing? And he immediately gets verbally abusive and belligerent with the officer. Going, you can't effing tell me what to do. This is my effing right. I can do what I want. It's like, whoa.
And did he identify as any person in particular?
Oh no, he did. After the officer said, it's like, look, you're not listening. You're officially being detained. Please give me your identification. He did. He was issued what's called a 626 order, which removes him, a trespass order, which removes him from campus for 10 days. So.
Oh, so then after the 10 days,
after the 10 days, they can come back.
Okay, so it's not a permanent trespass.
No, it's not a permanent trespass. Somebody has to be really, 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 really bad.
Do you have a list of those people? Are there?
There was one once upon a time, and she has since passed, and that's no longer an issue. But she was a routine transient that was on campus, breaking into cars. We'd find her in buildings, and we'd find her on campus 3-4 times a week.
So maybe some mental health issues.
Oh, there was a lot of
background?
mental health issues surrounding her. And I still remember her name because I was a dispatcher when she was around. But
so just one in all the years.
In all the years that we've been here, I've only known of one actual trespass where she was actually issued a stay away order by the court, because that has to come from the district.
Right.
Yeah, and 99.99% of the time we issue somebody a 626 order, and they go, and because the officer explains, okay, this is what this form is, sign here, you're understanding this. If you come back in these next 10 days, you will be arrested for trespassing.
I see.
And
so it's a temporary trespass, kind of.
Correct, yes.
Okay.
And that's found, I believe.
Is it in the penal code?
It's either the penal code or the ed code. I don't remember which, because I know it is specific to colleges and universities.
Okay.
And it states that somebody can be told to leave school grounds for X number of days. We do it for students as well.
I remember that there was a person that was questioning the Michelle Dauber thing at Stanford, and I interviewed him, and he said that the Stanford campus police, which were the sheriffs, told him to leave because Michelle Dauber was a law professor there, and she didn't want it. So what you're telling me is that I'll look that code up. So that's just a 10-day. So it wasn't a permanent kicking him off the campus.
Correct. It is 10 to 14 days. 10 days for non-students, 14 days for students.
Okay.
And the 14 days is to separate and allow our administrative policy, our administrative process for the students, disciplinary committee and stuff like that, to review the case and figure out what they're going to do, and have their hearing before the student is permitted back.
So they do have a hearing before they're permitted back.
Oh, absolutely.
And does the student go to it, or
they have the option to go to it, or they can choose not to?
And what if it's not a student? What if it's a member of the public?
Then it's just 10 days off, and if they come back and they're doing the same thing, we'll issue it again. And sometimes we have to do this cycle, and it happens. So,
but infrequently.
It's very rare.
And you think it's de-escalating about people?
I think it's definitely de-escalating, and I'm not sure if it's, like I said, I'm not sure if it's just that we've got less people on post-pandemic, or if just the word is getting out with social media now being everywhere, that if you are doing something you're not supposed to in public, people are going to record you, and you are going to end up on TikTok.
And there's no right to privacy in public.
No.
So
exactly.
you were very helpful, very educational to me. This is kind of new, campus police, and so
campus police is a whole different.
It is.
It's a whole different animal.
So you work not only under the penal code but under the educational code.
Correct. Yep.
And you probably have Title IX considerations that you have to consider too. Is that correct?
Yes, we do.
Okay. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Certainly.
Thank you. All right.
Have a good
Bye-bye.
one.